Welcome to the first in hopefully many episodes of what I will be calling the result screen. This is similar to a video review, except it focuses on three main categories of a game's performance and grades the game on each of those aspects, a little bit like how a game might grade your performance after combat. Is that sufficiently clever? Did I win? Let's proceed. The three categories are aim. This is what the game appears to be going for at its most ideal. The second category, accuracy. How well a game hits the mark it appears to have set up for itself. And finally, impact. What is the cumulative effect of the game's overall execution? The apparent aim of Code Vein is to make an anime-styled Souls-like with some added explicit class systems lifted off of the MMO playbook. We have skills on cooldowns and skill loadouts on top of the usual stamina-based light and heavy attacks of a Souls-like. The post-apocalyptic environment tries to be equal parts fantasy realm and futuristic technoscape. Replacing souls are blood beads as the central MacGuffin that everyone needs and wants, and that you use as your upgrade currency. Codevein also wants to tell a story, giving all but the protagonist a lengthy backstory about how they fit into the world's sad decline. These NPCs are designed to accompany you through the game as AI party members, so a deeper backstory is meant to help you enjoy their company as they react to events around you and cover your back in combat. Combat is intended to be challenging with a mix of big, tough enemies and hordes of enemies to test your abilities. The upgrade paths on offer aim to provide a range of combat choices. And lastly, the music wants only to be appropriately epic and cinematic, as required.
I won't give up. When is Mia going to wake up?
No one can really say for certain. Unfortunately, some never do wake up. I'm sorry.
All right.
The accuracy of Codevein's intentions are hampered mostly by a low budget, but I'd be remiss to say the story would have been much improved with only a better coat of paint. More on that in the next section. The Souls-like gameplay, married to a more active, skill-based combat system, does do a good job to encourage you to use the skills and switch classes fairly frequently to suit your needs. There's at least a couple classes of each archetypal sort: tank, mage, ranged, balanced, DOT, and so forth. Your weapon and armor and the available skills are locked behind which class you choose, and going through the proper leveling schemes to unlock skills eventually lets you use them with different classes equipped, which you can do on the fly. If the game's budget holds back how close Code Vein gets to the mark, the game's lack of restrictions help nearly in equal measure. You're very free to play this game however you want, and there's no shortage of choices to pick from. While gameplay may hold up against the pitfalls of a modest game budget, the story, graphics, and audio do not. Character animations are very limited. The anime aesthetic is smooth enough, but without anything interesting happening on screen outside of combat, the aesthetics leaves a lot to be desired. Many cutscenes, quote unquote, are so pared down they involve you walking very slowly through hallways as motionless character models in a sort of diorama setup appear on screen to do some storytelling. This happens a lot. The same issue plagues the audio with heavily reused voice cast and music tracks.
Could you fix this stuff up for us?
Yikes, you must have seen some real action. Don't worry, I've got it taken care of. So what happened?
Huh?
Finally, we come to the impact, and you can probably tell it's not looking so good. The result of playing Code Vein is a very mild series of peaks with continual ventures into long, dull valleys of exposition and uninteresting hordes of enemies that don't feel difficult for the right reasons. In the actual Souls games, losing usually means you need to meaningfully change your approach or possibly just grind for better levels and equipment. In Code Vein, you seem to stand an equal chance of winning or losing because you got unlucky during one of the game's many horde rushes, or when the AI of a difficult solo enemy just didn't spam a given attack. The various combat options do help keep things lively for a bit longer, but that soon runs its course as weapon animations and enemy types begin to loop. The story isn't anything to fall back on. I suspect that even if you have an appetite for waifish, big-titted anime plot goddesses, this particular brand of it won't be anything to write home about.
Do you know about the cavern underneath the cathedral? We were attacked there. Jack lured them away so that I could... Slow down.
Attacked? Wait, what were you doing down there in the first place?
If you really like anime and you're really hurting for a Souls-like and you can get the game at a good discount, Code Vein is for you. Maybe.